Welcome back. I'm sorry if we've been going a little bit crazy over the sport, but there is a lot to chew on this weekend. Let's get into round one of the Rugby Championship. Ellis Park sets the stage for a fierce Springbok Wallaby. I'm going to call it a derby clash that hasn't lived up to its potential for a while now because the Wallabies just haven't been rocking up to the party, man.
Yeah, man, and all alongside this, the Springboks are bringing a formidable experienced squad determined to start their campaign with authority against an Australia side that I think is eager to rewrite recent history. So we had to bring in the big gun himself, sport presenter, our family, and also someone from Good Hope FM, Morgan Newman, in the building to share all his insightful, wise thoughts for this one. How you doing, bro?
I'm so good. Exciting weekend of sport coming up across the board.
You, did you have to cut your gym session short to make it here, or did you get the full reps in? Really?
I had to cut it short horribly because Lucian got me here very early, and then all of a sudden I wasn't, So
but the beauty about you is that you always look like you got a pump, so you're fine.
I was going to say you are ready. Now, this weekend, he is right. You blink, you're going to miss one of the major sporting highlights of the year, of the decade. This is massive. We want to send a statement. Rassie, as he does, he's playing games in our heads now. We've got no replacement fly half on the bench. Even more pressure on Marnie now when pressure might not be his favourite thing. Now, how are you feeling about the makeup of this team, first of all?
Do you know what? As an avid rugby court supporter, I think this team is literally chosen to play expansive rugby.
I like the sound of that.
And as a true rugby purist, I think the Springboks need to learn to play, not learn to, we have the talent to play in the wide channels.
Because that's how you put 50 on a team when you've got the
correct.
chance.
That's how you put 50 on a team. You play on the advantage line, which Manie Libbok does so well. We've got, Andre Estes is a big ball carrying 12, so he'll give us the go for it and the momentum we need. And then it's Marnie, it's Damian Willemse coming off the bench. The back three is exciting. Apalele Fassi is the right call. So without a doubt, he shows his hand clearly by the team that he's chosen. But it is the right team. It is the kind of, and we speak about this quite often, but I think Tony Brown has a massive role to play in the team that was chosen this weekend.
Oh, really? Well, he would know. He would obviously understand the Australian team.
Well, Rassie, I think Rassie is a lot more of a conservative coach in general. He's a bit more conservative, and I think Tony Brown has helped him come out of his shell and allowed these outside backs of the box to actually play an expansive game.
I'm sorry to interject here, but Victor Matfield said something brilliant on an interview or podcast recently about just that you would mark the Australian or especially the New Zealand and now the Irish team by how they could put 50 on a weaker side, how they can go to those channels and open up. Is this the final piece of the puzzle for Rassie? Are we leaving the Rassie era when we start pushing into this kind of gameplay?
Well, no, I think this is what the Boks have needed for so long.
The next evolution.
The next evolution, we were extremely one-dimensional, How do you beat the Boks? You front up to their forward pack and you stand a chance to beat the Boks. Reality is that's no longer the case because now you front up to their forward pack, you've still got to deal with their backs, You've still got to deal with the Manie Libbok on their advantage line in the opposition's faces.
So if you're taking this new sort of way that we're moving forward, right, why then include still like 18 former Springboks in the squad when we have all this new talent to rely on? Is it a bit of a hybrid approach, a blend of both, not to kind of ruin the brand while still taking the challenge on?
Well, I think the reality is, the transition, if you go from one to the other, I think you sit with problems. If you slowly transition from one to the other, keeping the youngsters, if you look at what Rassie's done over the last long period of time, is he's always blending the exuberance of youth and the excitement with the conservative of X, Y, and Z. The Damian Willemse, Jesse Creel's like super sort of conservative centre pairing. And then you've got a Andre Pollard. Now he's taken Andre Pollard out of the mix and he's put in a different 9-10 combination.
Yeah, but you've still got Andre in the space, sharing spaces with a Sasha. You've got these unbelievable links now, and I think that's where we're going to unlock something truly remarkable. When we look at what Joe Schmidt went through with the Lions tour, he has been battle-hardened to a degree coming into this. What did we learn about the Wallabies? What strengths were they able to build on from that? You mentioned muscling up front. That's still going to be a massive battle line in this. Is that how they approach it? What's the Australian mindset going into this?
Well, the Australians of past have always been known to have a soft underbelly. They've never had you know, their pack has never been as scary.
Oh, the sting, man. I'm not even Australian. Oh, that ripped my heart
that was
out,
proper,
man.
bro.
You know, but I mean, in general, and I use the word respectfully, but I think that's always been the look and feel of an Australian team. You know, the flair of the backs. We know they're extremely skillful nation, but they haven't got a platform from which to work from because their pack just
Where's
never
the
fronts
grit,
up.
man? Where's the grit?
But what we saw clearly from the test matches against the British and Irish Lions is with one or two changes, that pack is starting to really, you know, under Joe Schmidt, they're starting to form a little bit of a combination there that can start to lay a platform. And once they lay that platform, I mean, we know the outside backs of the Aussies are always going to be able to rip teams apart.
Are you still younger than James O'Connor?
I think we're around about the same age. And I saw that
How would you feel, Brother Bear? And you're still in phenomenal shape, and I know you got the goods, dude, but how would you feel stepping out against the Springboks tomorrow at Ellis Park at this phase of life, eh?
I mean, you know, this can go one of two ways. This can go horribly wrong for the Aussies, or this can work wonders.
It's going to be magic, I think.
The reality is, again, I think the Aussies are taking a leaf out of the Springbok book, you know. They haven't had that transition period. So including a guy like James O'Connor, including a guy like Nick White, who was on the verge of retirement, is now playing, starting at 9. That is sort of that 9-10 combination is the core of that Aussie side that needs the experience amongst the youth. That Suyalo in outside centre is exciting. So just reining it in with the experience of 9-10 combination
that balance.
might work for them.
And belief. He has hurt us. He has hurt the best South African rugby players. You were listing the Farid Dupreez of the world. James O'Connor dismantled one of the best Springbok teams that's ever existed. So I'm just saying,
He
dude.
does. And that's, you know, and I was reading specifically that. You know, I think it was in 2013 or 12, whatever it may be. The Aussies beat the Boks back-to-back. And he was at fly-off. And he's actually a fullback. I think he's an incumbent fullback. I think his position is fullback. But he's lost a bit of pace, maybe a little bit more controlled, you know, cool under pressure. He's moved into 10. He knows how to beat the Boks.
What I love is you talking about James O'Connor like he's got his whole rugby career ahead of him, and maybe that's the case. Massive showdown at Ellis Park. Please, if you are getting there, rub it in, man. We want to see pictures. We want to see videos. We want to see some fire out there. What a test for the Springboks.